Hey everybody, sorry about a little bit of technical issues there. I am, as always, Zach, otherwise known as Great Zamino, your GM of The Hole in the World, the War Report, a special interlude that we are conducting in the world of the Invisible Sun RPG created by Monty Cook Games. And I am once again joined by four wonderful cast members, and if they will tolerate it, I am asking them to once again give us their intros, starting with Marcy in the upper left-hand corner.
You say it like everyone already ran through their intros, but we all know that it's always me that does it twice.
Well, you're the good luck charm. That's how that works.
Are we sure about that? Because the track record is not that great. But for what it's worth, I am Marcy, aka Experimental Madness. And that is the username you can find me around most places around the internet, except for Twitter, where you can find me under Marciful. Although, fair warning, I'm never there. Today, I'm very excited to be back playing the irreverent Mott, the connected, empathic apostate who fuses nightmares to fists.
Excellent. And moving down on the left-hand side, Bill, if you go ahead and like to give us your intro.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bill. You can find me on Discord. I'm at Ghostspike over there. And today I will be playing Kieran von Miles, the alias The Tailor, who is an Eremitic Stoic of the Order of Makers who warps time and space.
Excellent. Moving over to the right-hand side of the overlay, Hopper, tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Hopper. I can be found in, on, and around the interwebs at Fail Deadly. That is with a 3 instead of an E, so it kind of looks like Fail Badly, which also works. And or at the Legend Tree. And tonight I will be playing Okris, the iconoclastic apostate who heralds endings.
Excellent. And finally, rounding out our merry band, let's go ahead and introduce Marissa. Who are you playing? What are you about?
Hi, everybody. My name is Marissa, also known as Critical Kitten, with a variety of punctuation in various internet places. And I am playing Magister Allegra von Hollingsworth, a call sign the Rook, who is an Eremitic Stoic of the Order of the Vance, who claims dominion over ideas. Excellent.
So guys, a lot has transpired in the past couple of sessions. You guys have been introduced to the Caderak, who are the secret agents that have been working directly with the Army of Satyrine, played by our four wonderful cast members, our four lovely PCs. However, some intrigue is afoot, and in order to kind of properly set the stage, let me put some music on. So, when last we checked in on the Caderak, you guys had been very busy kind of learning a lot about the inner politics of this strange war in which you have found yourselves in. Namely, you understand that not only is there one war at work, the war which you have been fighting between these kind of unknown, nameless enemies that seem to travel great distances and great amount of time very effortlessly, but you understand that there is a second front, namely between clandestine organizations, one of which you know that your generals, several of which they belong to, one called the Knights of the Name. At the same time, the organization that opposes them, one of several, is primarily known as the Vespertine, a nihilistic cult of those who believe that the world would be better if the actuality was enwrapped in the dark. And while all of you have professed some measure of belief or doubt in whether or not the dark is a real place, your generals have assured you that it is. At the same time, we've had some other additional revelations, namely that Irreverent Mott discovered that the enemy is actually a people called the Erebast, one who seems to exist in a half-world that, unfortunately, it seems that their patron god seems to have been corrupted, and in so doing, in becoming corrupted, has brought more corrupted ones to them. The consequences of which may have something to do with this war in which they are fighting and opposing you. At the same time, in the process of using his third eye, Kieran was able to ascertain some of the events that are happening clandestinely within this half-world from which the enemy is mobilizing, or the Erebast are mobilizing. But at the same time, an unknown force, after spying a massive structure or creature of some kind, you felt the pressure of your third eye being crushed by some force, which led you to want to take action at a sooner rather than eventual pace, which led you to attempt to abscond with the hate cyst specimen from the maker's tent of your HQ, the one that you secured in the first operation. However, much to your chagrin, you found that the specimen had already been taken by presumably associates of Ordo Rem, the Maker General, who is nowhere to be seen within the HQ now. At the same time, before you could make any additional discoveries, you were attacked by some sort of secretive creature that appeared to have been dispatched in order to deal with you and your Maker colleagues, Kieran. And not only did you, in order to get the drop on it, reverse time once, you actually managed to reverse time twice when the illusory runes or protective devices protecting the illusion turned out to be incendiary in nature. The blast would have been chronologically or time related. So you managed to kind of circumvent the challenge, but at the same time, it alerted everybody to the truth of Ordo Rem's betrayal. So, where last we left off, you guys had been brought into the throne room of the or not the throne room, but rather the kind of war room of the Caderak and their generals.
I was about to have many more questions.
So many thrones, so little time. So you guys have found yourselves in this war room. However, I'd like to say that a little bit of time has passed. I don't think a matter of days or minutes. I think rather a matter of hours. And I would like us to begin, if we could, with Allegra. Allegra, describe for me what has been transpiring, what's going through your head, what are you doing in the hours that you have found out about not only this conflict, but also about Zaleska's hand in it and her status as a Knight of the Name.
I think, as with many things, Allegra is contemplating. Much like her mentor, I think she probably in the hours following these revelations needs to take the time to process them. And I think she does this best with Sophanox, because she and Sophanox have a very tight bond. No one is really used to seeing Allegra be affectionate towards anything or anyone, but Sophanox is sort of the one exception to this rule. And so when Allegra retreats into herself, she retreats often into her mind palace, but it's always Sophanox who accompanies her there. And Sophanox has become something of a confidant, almost, someone that she can bounce ideas off of or share secrets with. And so I think in this moment where you find her several hours after these revelations, she's taking care of Sophanox. She's petting his feathers, she's kind of shining them, giving him something to eat, just making sure that all the dust of battle that may have accumulated on him recently is washed off. And she's, I think, crooning to him, murmuring to him, and they're just sort of sharing a moment together.
And I think Sophanax will occasionally kind of nestle in, kind of, I think, darting his beak into kind of between the space under your chin and between your neck and your chin, and kind of nuzzle it a little bit as you continue to work. That said, I think you do feel a familiar tug. You recognize this. It's a similar tug to when Zaleska called you back to the HQ. You are feeling that tug now, but it is less insistent. It is less transportational. It is not trying to pull you physically and bodily. It is almost kind of a formal request.
I think, and you say Allegra knows what this is. She's experienced this before.
Yes, I would say this was actually in the previous episode when you were pulled physically to her. It's very similar to when Vance called Parasauds for disaster assistance. It is similar to that, but it's more a request. It's kind of, if you think of it like a benign transposition, you have to be willing to go.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way with this sort of request that Allegra can flip it and sort of effectively say, yes, you can come, but they have to come to me as opposed to me having to come to them? Or is this sort of request like, if I accept it, I get transported to wherever the requester is?
It's easy enough to flip. You understand the inner workings of that magic, and as your ability as a spellcrafter, you are able to turn that dial, so to speak.
Perfect. Then I think she'll do that.
Excellent. And after a few moments, shimmering into view behind you is that similar cobalt-clad, cobalt-haired Zaleska, waiting patiently, looking at you with a very kind of impassive, very hard-to-read face.
You rang?
Yes. I was hoping that we would have an opportunity to speak at some point, but unfortunately, circumstances are such that our action is needed immediately.
And, well, what do you wish to speak about?
I am sorry that you had to discover of my affiliation in the way that you did.
Am I hearing this right? The great Zaleska is apologizing.
It would seem so.
What's the matter? Have you lost your touch? It's very unlike you.
You seem to have this idea of me. I'm not some imperious general. I'm not a taskmaster. I'm doing what I can for the army, for Satyrine, for all of the actuality.
Keeping secrets, not spying on people, not telling them, not respecting their privacy. All of these things don't exactly match with someone who has everyone's best interest at heart, Zaleska. So you might forgive me if I assume, or perhaps logically conclude, that maybe you're not what you seem to be.
Can that be said of any Vizsla?
Recall that it's you that taught me never to trust easily.
Yes. And yet I found myself wanting to trust you. You are...
Trust me with
your charges, with other Vances. It is so hard to delegate this responsibility.
I understand that, but nonetheless, I am leading these Vances in the way that I feel is best for them, is best for our cause. And so you'll forgive me if I don't inherently share everything about that with you. you've trusted me with that authority, as you say. Would you not wish me to lead them as though I were their general? Rather than just simply funnel up all of that to you?
I very much want you to do that. That is what I trust you to do. I did not trust you with my affiliation, as matters of this sensitive nature are absolutely essential to our survival. Their very secretiveness, their furtiveness is... If I were to just tell everyone with whom I am affiliated that I was a member of the Knights of the Name, Vespertine would have knocked out all of our generals long ago.
And what is this Knights of the Name? I'd rather hear it from you than anyone else, Zaleska.
It's a calling. A purpose. One that I serve willingly. I must live up to my name, and in so doing, I must meet the principles of altruism, of service.
So it's a philosophy?
In a manner of speaking. It's a philosophy that requires, by its nature, praxis.
And so what, you're a group of people who promise to go do good throughout the realm and quest and uncover injustice and set it right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Promise nothing, we do.
So you have a set of values, a set of principles, and then you live by them.
Yes.
And that's the basis of this organization.
Yes. You have the right of it.
How long have the Knights of the Name been in existence?
Centuries.
Since the dawn of time? Who was your founder?
My founder. A fine paladin indeed. The knight without a name. One who only received the full scope of his secret title, his secret name, in death, when he had earned it. And as he perished, he swore that any who would do their best to save and to safeguard the actuality must live up to their own name, that they may earn it as he had.
And so you have a name like this yourself, and I assume it is not Maralda Zaleska.
Oh no, it is. My name is what I promise to live up to. It is an investment of power in that name. It is an understanding, a journey unto myself to understand what that name means within the context of the actuality.
Do all Knights of the Name have names with this kind of power?
It's simpler than that. It's not a secret incantation, although we do have a coda by which we live. It's not some artifact that attributes some power to us. It's a vow, a promise that we all make. There is no secret soul that we invoke in order to gain knightly power. We are simple folks, in a manner of speaking.
Simple folks who happen to be some of the most powerful generals in Satyrine.
Well, those who believe in something do tend to go far, don't they?
How much of this is people, simple folks hoping to do good, and how much of this is a hierarchy with power, money, wealth behind it?
I do not doubt that there are members of our order who value such things, but there are others who are merely driven by their cause, who rise to meet the challenge attributed by another member of the Order, Naharan being our leader. Naharan.
There's like Ordo Rem.
Ordo proved himself to us many times over. It is shocking to me that he could have been any part of the Vespertine.
So is that what you think the case is then? That he's Vespertine?
I have little else to go on. We have no other such dogged enemy that might make use of this asset.
And you just claimed that everyone in your organization didn't see this coming. Is that right?
I believe that we trusted too readily. Sorry to say. Perhaps we were naive.
Yes, I think perhaps you did trust too readily.
I had hoped to induct you into our order.
Induct me? You
Yeah.
want me to become one of these knights?
I had hoped.
Why?
I've seen your interactions with the other Vances. Your acumen, your skill, they precede you. And your abilities earn their trust. You have proven yourself on this battlefield time and time again. In acquiring the asset alone, you gave us an understanding of what we faced.
So it's about talent. You want to recruit new talent.
It's about those who are able to withstand a crucible. I believe that you had it in you to make it into the membership, as it were.
What's involved with joining this Knights of the Name? What would it take?
A solemn and binding vow.
That's it. Just a vow, a promise.
One not easily broken. That is part of why we trusted Ordo so readily. It is a powerful magic to swear by your name, secret or otherwise.
So it's a magic vow. It's something binding, something that would have consequences if broken.
Very much.
What kind of consequences might those be? And would Ordo Rem be experiencing them right now?
I suppose so. You invest a part of your soul when you make this vow. To break it might, in some extreme cases, depending on the severity of your transgression, might reduce you to the status of a non. And you immediately recognize that a non is somebody who does not have access to magic within the actuality.
Well, Zaleska, you know me. I view everything as something of a strategic calculus. Risk, reward, consequence. And this joining of a Knights of the Name organization that you present, well, that's quite a risk for what seems like a fairly high price.
There is a strength in our order, a strength in our bond. Those who are bound by the vow of the Knights of the Name may come to each other's aid, may hear when their need is great. To join this order is to always have an ally ready to serve the forces of the actuality and to safeguard it.
Fact is, I've never needed anyone else. I've been fine on my own.
I find that
So
hard.
really, you're asking me to join an organization to help you as a favor. No?
It is not just me you would be helping.
I have long held a theory, Zaleska, that you want me to do well only as long as you have had your hand in it, unless the Vance have had their hand in it. And now it seems like the Knights of their name having their hand in it. Are my successes to be tallied up and put against the successes and nobilities of yet another organization?
I'm going to turn a card. The Forbidden Game. It strengthens blue.
Dang.
Weakens
Love
red.
these cards.
Meanings: danger, intellect, strategy, and balance. The temptation to partake in the game is strong, but you know you shouldn't. It's dangerous, it's forbidden, it's far more than it seems. It may appear to be a simple diversion, a pastime, but it is so much deeper, so much more engrossing, and so much more addicting. Some have lost their very souls to its intricacies. It's not just that people want to win, although that's a part of it. It's the game's complexities that draw them in. Every move is a colossal undertaking. The game is more intricate than the real world that it simulates. That's the impossible thing. The game is bigger on the inside than the outside. It's bigger than the world in which it is played. The game isn't like life. It's better. It's more realistic.
Oh, I have chills. That is so apt. But anyway, yes.
So I think what ends up happening here is that she looks at you and she says, clearly you have a great insight into stratagems, into some grander design. What better way to put your mind at work?
You know, that's, I think, the first honest thing I've heard you say to me in a while, Zaleska. I'll think on it.
When you are ready, you should rejoin the rest of the members of the Caderak. We are designing our way forward. And we're going to cut there. Let us rejoin the rest of the Caderak. I want to actually know, it's been several hours. Where is everybody? I'm going to do this collectively, and we'll kind of do scene by scene as needed.
I think that Mott has wandered away. Now, we've been in this encampment for several months at this point. Yes. I think where he is towards the outskirts of camp. It's really no longer properly in the camp. This is a well-known location. Like, you can find him there. It's kind of his training area. That being because it's full of ruined buildings that he's allowed to literally practice on, aka demolish without causing any issues or interference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and what are you doing in this practice area as you work?
Oh, I think that Mott's probably like stormed away from just... I mean, he's been hit with kind of like revelation upon revelation in the span of literal minutes. So he's gone off to this, I'm going to just call it the training yard. And I think if one were to come upon him, you would hear him before you spotted him amongst this very massive but crumbling, I think, old apartment building that he is wrecking. There's slats falling, there's granite that's being pulverized. You see a flash of dark purple and some sort of terrifying visage before a whole archway is just completely obliterated, and just his fist is punched right through it.
Excellent. As you are doing this, as you are marshaling your focus, I'd like you to make me a resistance roll.
For punching granite?
Yeah. Your target level is 7.
Okay.
Because you are in this focused state, I'm going to give you 1 to your venture.
All right. I'm just checking to see if I actually have some resistance. No, I do not. So I'll take the 1. That is going to be a 3.
Okay.
He's a little all over the place, I'd say.
And as you are kind of wrecking this structure, I think there is a memory that floats to the surface of you and your old partner. What is it that you think of in this moment? I'll put it to you.
I am remembering being in the accidental space where Mott is frequently encountered by those brave enough to seek his specific services, but this one was the most persistent in recent memory. And being told that the target that I was supposed to take on was going to be the most dangerous one that anyone was going to ever offer me. And my initial thoughts on that were excitement, because it would take me out of here and bring me back to the real actuality before things changed.
And I think that, yeah, there was this calmness and this coolness in the voice, in his voice as he told you this. And he kind of spoke very quiet, like very determinedly, and very, I think as you were about to embark on this task, those leather gloved hands rested on your wrist, grabbed it, said, "You shouldn't trust her. Remember this, no matter what you do. Do not trust her."
And I roundhouse kick another wall in on itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it is in this kind of state. Actually, I'm gonna turn a card. I am interested to see who ends up discovering you at this
Whenever you
point.
say that, it just... Ugh.
Yeah, I know. But trust me, it's worth it.
That's why I have the wine.
Yeah.
I came prepared this episode.
Lucky coin. Its color is silver. It weakens gold. Its value, let's see, its notions, cats, clocks, and wind. Meanings are good fortune, wealth, freedom, unexpected luck, and unstructured. We put a lot of value in objects. We place a lot of importance in their presence in our lives. Some people might have a favorite shirt, a trusty handkerchief, or of course, a lucky coin. Armed with a talisman such as this, no harm can befall us, but we only barely understand the truth of such things. The luck they bring, if they work, never comes in an unexpected form. Something good is coming. It's likely nothing one planned on or was expecting, and it can come in many forms: success, money, or the elimination of a problem. The lucky coin is a positive card turn, and it suggests that the person in question has perhaps less structure weighing upon them than they thought. Fewer strings for the marionette, so to speak. They are more free than they believed, free to act and do as they please. If you find a good luck charm, hang on to it. They're rarer than you think. I need to make a note.
Wow. Oh, a note?
Okay. So, I will tell you this. Who do you most want to see in this moment as you are having this kind of almost self-destructive behavior, kind of outburst?
Interesting. Out of the people that I would most want to see me like this, 'cause it's definitely, I mean, like, he would always want to see Jaya, but definitely she does not need to see him like this. I'm going to say Kieran.
Okay.
Given everything that just went down in the tent recently.
Kieran, I think as you are looking and kind of investigating and trying to follow leads, or even having this moment of your own kind of turmoil, you hear the sound of granite breaking in prodigious fashion. And you can't help but turn your head to the sound, and you see Mott just physically pummeling the ruins of an old apartment in the kind of training yard within this larger headquarters.
So I think Mott kind of catches his breath, finally stops to like look around, and Kieran's just standing behind him. What time of day is it?
Great question.
It's been several hours. What time did you conduct your little infiltration?
I don't recall.
I'm assuming it would be pretty late at night.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you get a bonus when you're at night. So I will say this is probably in the hours just before dawn, or not just after dawn. Yeah.
You're doing a little wake and break.
Oh, wait, bold of you to assume I sleep.
So it's just before dawn?
Just after, I'd say.
Just after dawn. You see Kieran's fully wrapped face with the goggles. I think that's why you turn around, because it gets cold. You see this, visage staring at you, and you hear Kieran say, I could give you something to hit.
I like using the buildings of stone. It feels like there's something solid against my knuckles. Especially like after that meeting that we just had, I really needed to hit something.
Wouldn't you prefer the face of the assassin that was at the scene of the crime? Follow me. And Kieran walks to where he thinks the person he encountered is being held.
Okay.
Mott follows, very intrigued by that.
Yeah, at this point, I think that before we kind of have that scene, there is something I want to check in on. Okris, where are you?
Actually, also, Okris doesn't stay in this camp. A, that's tactically unsound. B, it's full of people. And C, devastation is kind of their jam.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you would like, I think that you probably could even say that you've been drawn to that same sound of destruction, or maybe we're working on something similar not too far away.
I think Okris tends to meditate out in these ruined areas of just I don't know. They're stones. They have their own stories, but I don't have to be on the job all the time.
So you're just breaking rocks out in the yard?
Probably just chilling.
Mm-hmm. And that was the other thing we didn't recap is you reached deep inside of yourself for a question. And
got a snotty answer. My question is this: is this meditation part of a conversation?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think Okris is. This is not their forte. They never were really their job wasn't to get there. Their job was to break stuff once they got there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is this is complicated. This is messy. This is allegiances. These are unclear endings. These are the exact things that consternate you and anger you. And it is hard to find peace, especially when you are feeling so infirm and sick.
Yeah, it's I think Have they talked about this before? About this whatever this wasting is?
I think almost there is a kind of trepidation on the others' part because they don't want you to. Maybe you get a sense. Actually, make me an interaction roll.
Fuck. I have. I have a 2 bene, technically. I would like to spend one of them.
It's a challenge 4.
Okay. It's a 3 + 1, so.
Excellent. So there is something that you understand every time you speak to the other about this, which is your counterpart. There is a hint of hope every time you talk about this illness.
Hate that. I hate that a lot. Yeah, okay, fuck. Okay. Yeah, so Okris is gonna ask about try to get a non-snotty answer about whether there's a way to punch through to a half world or whether it's somewhere we've been before.
And I think this place, it's secret. I'm wondering if I need to do an impression of Twigg as they are now. This place is secret. It's different. I don't know a lot about it. I haven't seen it before. And with that 4, you would kind of get a sense when there's a little bit of variance, but there's an even tone. There's not like any kind of dissembling.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a big universe.
Yeah.
We haven't quite been everywhere yet.
Well, if you'd let me out, maybe we could go other places.
It's my turn to drive. That's the deal.
And yeah, you just hear a kind of tense sigh answer back. Do you try to find out anything else?
The Knights of the Name. I don't remember that, but Okris doesn't pay a lot of attention, and if that happens at some other point, what do they know anything about this?
I'm going to turn a card. The Lost Star. Good or bad luck, great distance, great age, great value. Offers good or bad fortune determined by the card turned after it on the path. Whatever this card suggests, it's epic in scale. Something important to the person in question is a very long away, very old or very valuable. The Lost Star amplifies any other results determined by cards. Something needed is a very long distance away. An important NPC is very old. A treasure or work of art is very valuable. Something that was going to happen anyway happens in a much larger way. A rain shower becomes a torrential downpour. A raid by enemies is an invasion. A bit of success in gambling turns into a huge windfall. Stars fall, it happens, but what happens next depends on who finds it. Okay, so there's a pause, and then you hear that voice. It sounds familiar.
How familiar?
It's on the tip of my being. I can feel the answer coming. I just can't reach it. And again, no dissembling. It's too weak. You would know if it's lying.
Fine. Literally, if you were creeping on this, you would basically see Okris sitting there, just kind of tapping the sledgehammer in one palm and just grumbling at themselves while surrounded by rubble and just destroyed buildings and just kind of making these noises like this half-assed conversation.
Look, I don't have answers. Maybe they do.
Then why the fuck did you want me here?
why the fuck do I want you anywhere? So maybe that you'll die and I'll get a chance.
Fat fucking luck. Good fucking chance. Words. Fuck. This is yours. This is your job. I'm just.
Look, Naharon made us an interesting offer. I don't know why. Maybe you pick his brain. Fuck, man.
Fine. We keep working with them.
Doesn't look like we have much of an option, is there?
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, the seed cracks through the firmament, and you just, again, that kind of like, what was it? Oh, like, we'll get there eventually. Like, you just kind of like,
Can I do the whatever the magical equivalent of slamming the phone is?
Yeah, you just shut your mind to it. It's just like, and you just hear that voice peter out, but it stays a little bit longer than you like it to.
That's not deeply disconcerting. All right. I think Okris is going to probably head back to try to find Naharon and get some better answers. Though I'm perfectly content with me running into these couple fine, upstanding, angsty folks. I
think all of you practically converge as you are making your way to kind of like this, as Kieran and Mott are making their way to this holding area for this whatever this kind of would-be assassin is. I think all of you kind of converge. Allegra, Zaleska sees the other members of the Caderak, nods and says, I'll be in the war tent, and walks back to meet presumably where Naharon might be. Okay. So are all of you going to head into the holding area for wherever this thing is?
Kieran was the one that invited me.
Oh yeah, brother, let's do it.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I don't. I guess are we all? So we're all converging the same area. So I think you see Okris kind of stomp up. They've managed to replace their mask. So they're once again this half mask covering the face and like makes it a lot easier to drink. And they kind of look at the three of you now. Look at the three of you and just goes, is there a meeting somebody didn't tell me about?
You could say that. I already promised the beating to Mott. You'll have to take it up with him.
Sorry, first come, first serve.
And then Kieran looks.
Chris immediately walks into the tent.
Kieran looks to Allegra and says, and just nods. And walks in.
I think she's like, beating. Is there skill involved? Are there rules?
No.
So it's just a free-for-all. Punchy.
Look, you've got your skill sets and I've got mine. But let's just say that when I punch something, usually there's some bit of information that we might be able to get out of it.
Now I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah, Kieran holds open the flap of the tent and says, that is precisely why we're here.
So, okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt there.
No, I was just going to say, Allegra says, color me intrigued.
Okay. Excellent. So, as you all walk into the tent, one after the other, you are treated to basically a sight of what appears to be a large binding circle and a rotating shift of guards, some of them watching this figure nervously. This figure is bound at its hands and knees, are bound, and it is on its knees on the ground and floor of the tent within this kind of large circle. The one thing that is very clear to you is, one, it is unconscious. Two, regardless of its unconsciousness, its head is still moving in these very strange patterns and shapes, such that the face is a blur.
Here's an interesting thing that I'd like to ask, given Mott's mask. Does that really affect the emotion that I can glean from this creature?
I think that your face is blank as it is unconscious. But you won't know until you wake it up, for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that can be arranged.
Yeah, I think there are several guards, one of whom all of you see is, what was your junk kind of composed friend, Okris?
Root.
Root is standing guard over this thing and just looks at you and just says,
"Oh, terrible thing, whatever this is. Woof. Don't know where it got dragged out of what part of the actuality, boss."
Doesn't matter.
Has anyone spoken to it?
Nah, you guys could be the first. We've been saving it for you.
Has Allegra ever seen a creature like this or heard of anything that looks like this?
The actuality is filled with people that look all different manner of ways. This thing could be a sapient pile of garbage, or it could be an Elderbrin who has this preferred shape. It could be somebody who just went to a changery. Whatever they are, they're one of Okris's, and they're a little weird.
Allegra's gonna give this lieutenant a wide berth.
Yeah, you kind of have to. The smell is very pungent and powerful.
Yeah, there was some there's some cans in there of what were probably fish soup, and it is getting ripe.
Yeah.
Oh, the root is what I like to call it.
And as you guys kind of are advancing towards this figure, Root looks at you expectantly, and all of the I'd say there are about 5 other guards in this room look at you expectantly, one of whom is a Brawn, Kieran.
Mm-hmm.
And Root looks at you, Okris, and says,
"Boss, you want me to? I should maybe wake this thing up."
Okris just kind of turns and looks at Kieran.
What can Kieran tell about the nature of this circle, the magic that's keeping it here?
So I will go ahead and tell you. Give me a roll. You can either use perception, you can use sorcery. The other thing, or any kind of an intellect-based roll. Just depends on how you do. I'll kind of give you some more information.
Yeah, I'll do an intellect.
Okay.
All right. That's a 4 all day.
Okay. You just realize this looks something fairly complicated and fairly kind of it looks like kind of a rudimentary binding. Not rudimentary, just it's rudimentary, but just very well amplified and very well drawn. And you probably realize that it's some form of kind of restrictive magic that or invocation that a Vance has written.
Kieran says, looks in Root's direction and says, "Yes, please, wake it up."
And just very carefully, without stepping through the binding, Root gets on whatever is equivalent to his knees, probably a pair of like banana peels, and just looks at this thing as, "Hey! Hey! Wake the fuck up!" And slowly but surely, this thing's head begins to move even more erratically side to side, and it begins to kind of shimmer and shake, and then it's looking at you, and while it's blurring, you can feel its gaze intently upon you, sometimes the eye being visible within the blur, and it looks expectantly at all of you.
Well, with your permission, I can get us started.
There is a look of grim determination on Mott's mask.
Okris is just gonna kind of give a little nod to the in lieu of first come first serve, and is gonna but also begin powering up a couple spells.
Kieran says to the guards of the room, says, I don't care if you look away or want to watch and enjoy, but this is happening.
And
Well, it might be best if some of them get out. Some of the questions they're gonna ask need to know basis.
Kieran folds his arms and says, I've had enough of wondering who to trust. And he gets the looks at all of them, cold condensated air coming out through his cloth wraps, and says, if anyone in this room betrays me, I'll kill them.
Fine
You
by me.
can decide if you want to stay.
And Root, you just hear and a Brawn doesn't move. I'm gonna turn a card actually, but
Yeah, because Mott is gonna step forward. Why don't you turn the card while Mott's walking in to get up close and personal with our friend here?
Yeah, absolutely. This one's a interesting one. The Nemesis Doctor. Visions, swans, blades, and water.
Oh,
Whose is that?
that's me.
-2.
Oof.
Meanings, wisdom, health, dependence upon others, disease. Doctors help, but it's help we'd rather not need. No one wants to see a doctor. We only see them if something's gone frightfully wrong. Game narrative. Someone falls ill, a plague threatens. A powerful NPC relies upon another for their survival. An NPC consults wise advisors. People search for remedy to some widespread affliction. Actually, as you are making a
That's
play,
great.
yeah, as you are making a play for intimidation, Okris, you just feel the urge to double over and vomit.
Oh, who's near me?
That
That could be bad.
could be very bad. If you want to control yourself, you can try to roll me a physicality roll.
I will do that. Can I put a sortilege into that or no?
You may certainly do that. Roll 2 dice.
That is oof. That is a 1 and a 4.
Okay. I will say on a 4, you don't manage to hit anybody. But
Wait, was this a resistance roll?
no, this was physical. Well, yeah, this was resistance. So
Okay. I have so that is a 2 and a 5 technically.
2 and a 5. Actually, this would be withstand. Resist is for
Also have that.
excellent. 2 okay, so 2 and a 5. 5, I think you do manage to kind of direct the lightning as it fires out, but it is very clear that it is kind of not a manifestation of power. It does, and it kind of undermines your intimidation tactic, Mott. So we're going to have -2 on this first roll.
I have a question. Being an apostate, do I ignore this card or is it a specific card that I ignore?
It's only the one on the. In fact,
That's
let me.
the last one, right?
Yeah, let me pull this up.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Because
is
that's the one that once we get to that far, that stays in play no matter how many cards that we.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You can cast a spell to try to kind of replace this, though.
I don't have something that can do that.
Casting
would
a
like
spell replaces
your.
Oh well, I am about to. Ironically enough.
I would like your indulgence, Zach.
You may have it, but watch yourself, McCoy.
Kieran's secret soul is the Doctor.
Ooh.
And if he invoked it, the character gains +2 on all actions until the next sun sets. Could I somehow use that to cancel this card for Mott?
Interesting.
I will.
You'd
I will-
spend a
Spectral
crux.
Doctors
I'd spend a
do
crux to
battle.
do it.
Okay. If it is that important, I will change. I will turn the card.
I mean, I am
Just,
about
like,
to cast a spell. I
turn
just
another
want to
card?
put that out there.
Fair enough. It just seems like it's called the Doctor. It seems
It's
perfect.
fascinating.
Okay. This is y'all's call. What do you want to do?
I just don't want you to spend a crux for.
I
lose your
I
crux.
feel like you could literally, if mechanically, if you wanted to do, I don't. That's weirdly metagamey. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think let's let Everett do what he wants to do.
Sure.
Although I don't want to. I do love the fact that your secret soul is the doctor. That's just so perfect. But yes, Everett will step forward and just sort of look down at this face that's rapidly moving, and yet somehow through his mask, there's some form of stability to the emotions of this creature that's lying bound.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do this one of two ways, none of which you're gonna have a choice in. And all of which, you're not gonna remember either way. I can beat the information that I want out of you, which I'm sure would amuse all my friends over there. Or we can be best friends. And as he's saying this, he's already casting emotional inversion.
All right. Okay. So describe the spell for me.
Yes, let me pull that up for you right now. Emotional inversion is a level 3 spell plus 1 die. I glare at a nearby person, and whatever emotion they are feeling is turned inside out, becoming its opposite. Hate turns to love, certainty becomes confusion, fear turns to bravery, and so on. Depletion is a 0. I check after each round. It is color blue.
Excellent. So I am going to turn another card because you cast a spell. What I would like you to do is I would like you to roll. Yep. Add the level extra of the spell die to your venture. Add an extra die. You can spend sorcery to add a level to it if you like.
Oh, interesting.
Or a Bene sorcery Bene to pump it.
Yeah. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So its level is 7.
5. So
I need you to hit 3 2 times.
Gotcha. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, easy. 8 and a 5.
8 and a 5.
On the dice.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so you see this grim determination flip into openness and I think that and kind of like congenial openness. Some grim determination, congenial openness. Yeah, that tracks.
You're only gonna see it on my on my face, though.
Yeah, exactly. You do see that, and as the magic takes effect, the card I drew was the Enveloping Darkness. Its meanings are restriction, loss, and endings. Dark isn't an absence of light. Light is an absence of darkness. Darkness is the default. It moves in to fill any place the light abandons. The dark was the totality of the actuality before the suns existed, and according to many, the dark will be the totality again once the suns are gone. The darkness is the end. It takes things. It takes us. It grabs, constricts, and overwhelms everything not warded by the light. The enveloping darkness, pretends...
How does this happen?
The enveloping darkness pretends an ending. Something draws quickly to a close. Endings aren't always bad, though, so this card turn can bring a relief as an affliction or problem comes to an end, which in this case is the creature's resistance. The card can also mean restriction or denial. The tendrils of the enveloping darkness can hold us fast and keep us from doing what we want. An end to freedom, so to speak. This card does not suggest death for the person in question, but it can suggest the death of someone involved in the matter at hand. He was so afraid of the darkness beneath his bed, he neglected the darkness outside his window. Okay, so I will tell you this, that card is the only time I've seen you guys draw that is during the first session.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you have this thing at your mercy. What do you do?
Mott sort of takes a knee, puts like a hand on their shoulder, sort of like that place right in between the neck and the shoulder. It looks comforting from the outside, but Mott's holding his fingers on 2 very key pressure points, and things get out of hand, that neck is going to snap pretty immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And he just goes, "Now, friends, we find ourselves in a pretty difficult situation, don't we? Now me, I'm a creature of the dark myself. Think I look like I'm somebody that's from one of the suns.
And you just, there is a voice that rattles and kind of blurs and whirs as it speaks. Yes. You are my kind.
I thought there was some similarity there. That's why I thought that we could talk.
And there is kind of a look of expectation that crosses Mott's face.
So what were you doing here?
What I was paid to do.
Steal the sample, make a lot of ruckus, get away with it, but who were you going to give it to?
That wasn't my job. My job was...
Who hired you to prevent other people from taking the sample?
Ordo, of course.
Do you work for the Vespertine?
Who are they?
Is there a way I can check to see? Because this is emotional inversion. This person can technically still lie.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way I can kind of gain some insight into that?
You may make me an interaction roll.
Yes, I will do that.
I will say it is going to be harder because this thing's face is moving. It's hard to get a read on it.
I don't care. I'm an empath.
Absolutely. So you are going to need to meet a challenge 8.
Well, I have an understanding people's motives.
Cool.
+2 to that. Would that apply here?
Absolutely. So
All
the
right.
challenge is now 6.
Hell yeah. That is going to be exactly a 6 on the dice.
I think that you understand that there is a sense of kind of furtiveness, a sense of attempting to kind of like guard themselves even in spite of this emotional state. But they don't seem like it, whatever it is, it doesn't seem like they're lying. It seems like they weren't hired explicitly by the Vespertine.
Gotcha. Was there anything else that Ordo told you about your job?
Kill the Maker. Help where necessary with the new recruits.
And when you say new recruits, see, I find that very interesting. So you're gonna kill a Maker, but you're still gonna be helping around the camp?
No. I was to help the nurse. To get...
Which nurse?
The one that tends to your wounded, that helps on the battlefield.
Give me a name, please.
I only know what she is. The Nightmare Nurse.
I look back briefly over at the others, just like, does that register at all to any of you?
Does it?
Kieran. Couple things I need you to do. First off, while you were watching this thing as it opened up to Mott, it let its guard down.
Yes.
I would like you to make me a intellect roll. Your challenge is 5.
Okay. Well, that's a 0.
Okay. I will say +1. Okay. I will say this, as it opens, it's kind of knowledge. You realize that it is moving. The way it moves, you kind of understood while you were watching it. It does something to time similar to what you do. You think that maybe if you study it, or if you could learn something about it. That said, I will say that I think what has happened as you are trying to grasp this, you hear the Nightmare Nurse, and the first thing you think of is where you've heard about the missing. The numbers that don't add up on the battlefield or in the sick tent bays.
Oh boy.
Ooh, new recruits.
Yeah, Kieran does not say anything in this moment and about that. Instead, he says, How long did Ordo Rem have the asset?
And I think that as it looks at you, it says, I don't know. I was hired a long time ago, though. Months. I was to await a signal.
What signal?
Ordo's request.
Kieran looks at the rest of the group and says, I don't know if this creature has much more to tell us.
Oh, see, I was really hoping you'd say that. Now, if other people want to try their hand at talking to my friend here, well, I'm sure they'll oblige answering any other questions, but I do ask that I formally conclude this visit.
Actually, there is one thing I should do. Kieran, I gave you an opportunity to roll intellect. Allegra, you may do the same. As you are a strategist and a spellcrafter, it would make sense.
Perfect. Cool. Is this to do with magical lore in any way?
More like magical biology. But
That's
I will
something
count it. I will count it.
Okay, because I was going to say with the science, I feel like that would fit Allegra's expertise.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 6 on the die plus 1, 7.
Okay. So as you watch this creature, you realize there is something about it that you read, and it seems to do this in a similar fashion that Kieran does moving through time. And you realize that if you were to kind of theorize, you know exactly how to replicate it. You now have access to the Terrace secret.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
Terrace secret is level 5. If you spend acumen equal to the level, you may learn this at your leisure. You manipulate time to move very quickly for a moment. At the cost of 1 physicality bene, you can take 2 actions in a single round. You cannot do this on 2 consecutive rounds.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'll take that happily.
Excellent. Yeah, but I think that is kind of what you are able to grok as you are watching this thing. But I will say this. Yeah, Kieran, you've kind of given the heads up to Mott. Mott, you've given everybody up their heads up. Does anybody have anything else they want to do? Okris.
It's not especially helpful. It's just very practical. Okris strides up and jams their fists kind of into and through, or their through this creature. I'm going to use the ability Leech Reality to rip some of this thing's essence out, because I'm not feeling well.
Okay.
And yeah, you watch as kind of this probably where this touches, it just kind of sinks in. Okris's hand kind of sinks in, and you see like kind of it's almost like watching the essence dissolve where it's being touched as it streams up their arm and kind of sinks into their skin.
Yeah, absolutely. I need you to still roll me that attack. You are it has whatever defenses it has are magical in nature. So I need you to get me this one has a slightly tougher resist 7 still, but I need 2 7s total.
Okay. Let me double check. I think I'm rolling an additional level 1. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and, because for shits and giggles, I'm gonna spend a bunch of sorcery and just do it.
Okay. All right.
Because it is an ability, so I'm going to pump that up. I don't know, how bad am I feeling, Zach?
You're feeling pretty. You still have that scourge in your physicality.
Cool. I'm just gonna pump this up to a level. 16.
Okay. All right. So, let me go ahead and take a look at its stats right quick.
I'll check to make sure I have the.
So you are doing 16 damage to it overall?
Yeah, I believe it deals damage equal to Oh wait, no, I don't want to kill it. Will that kill it?
Yes, it will
Okay.
kill it very definitively.
What we'll leave the tiniest bit for Mott, because Mott called dibs.
14 points of damage.
14 points of damage it is.
Oh, this is really metagamey though. All right, I will let you do this, but we're gonna.
Yeah, but
card.
I would be able to predict exactly how much, like, I would have control. It's a pretty low. Yeah.
True. Okay, go ahead.
You're an endings monster. You would know where the end is.
I know where the end is. I'm leaving a period for Mott.
Excellent.
Maybe a double space if I'm feeling nice. Yeah, I do that.
Okay. Yeah, this thing looks, as you leech the reality out of it, it seems to be on its last leg. Does anybody else have any business with this creature?
I think Allegra will look at Mott and say, do you intend this creature to live?
Well, I don't think it really matters what I intended to do with it anymore. And he just sort of let go, like drops his hand away from it, and looks up at I almost called you my character name, and looks up at Okris and is just, you think I want your leftovers? And just sort of gives a nod at Kieran and the rest of you, and is just, well, at least we got our information. If you need me, I'm going to be actually hitting something this time. And starts making their way out of the tent.
In that case, I think Allegra will say, well then, just a little bit of insurance. And she will use her idea thief secret, which is that she steals an idea from someone's mind if I succeed at an action with their level as the challenge. There is no cost, but if I fail, I cannot try again, and the being knows what I tried to do. If I succeed, I gain the idea and they lose it. So yeah, basically people can get the same idea again, but they basically continue to exist without that idea from here on out.
Okay.
An idea is just an idea. It's not a spell. It's not a character secret. It's just an idea. So the idea that Allegra would like to steal is the idea that they were hired to do a job.
Okay. Now remind me, do you roll anything for that? I think it sounds like it's a level 5 spell, right? Or a level 5 ability.
It says if I succeed at an action with their level as the challenge.
Okay. I need you to make a roll. I'm looking for a 7.
Okay. I will pump a penny into that. Hey, just succeeds. So I got a 6 on the dice, 7.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, you take the thought from this mercenary, and it loses that idea that it was hired. And I think it had let out an ear-splitting shriek as soon as Okris touched it, and now it's looking up, and the only, it seems to be kind of the blur is looking up at you, and Mott, your face reads befuddlement.
I think this is the first time you guys have ever seen Allegra consume an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very vampiric. It looks like she is siphoning this idea out of the creature. And as it kind of enters her and enters her being, she almost looks like something, you can't put your finger on quite what it is, but it's like she looks just a little bit more saturated, like a little bit healthier, a little bit more of a rosy glow around her cheeks.
Excellent. Yeah, so this interrogation, unless you guys have anything else to do, is concluded.
Kieran looks at the creature and says, I'm afraid the only thing left to take is whatever was in your pockets. And were there any magical implements that were taken from this creature?
I think there should be. So
be careful what you say.
I need to find real quick. There is a vial of something in their pocket. It is a dark potion. It seems to be very syrupy in consistency. And what this is the imbiber gains +2 to all violent or destructive attack actions as long as the attack is not made against a creature of the dark. Its depletion is 0 to 4. You check at the end of each combat encounter, and its color is red.
Incredible. We just got rated with a party of 12. That's extremely dope.
Hey, other dog, thanks so much.
Kieran is going to use his Seam Ripper and learn who created this magic item and the location of that creator, as long as they are on the same sun.
Is there a challenge associated with that, or do you just do it?
I just do it. It's my signature item, baby.
Okay. There is not very far away. You realize on the same sun in Indigo, you would say probably maybe 3 miles. There is, you describe this power for me. Describe this signature ability.
So this is a Seam Ripper, what any tailor would have on them for their duties, but this is my maker signature item and the second magical ability that I crafted on. In addition to sensing the presence of magic, I can learn who created this magic and the location. It's a level 5 ability, and I juiced it up so it has no depletion.
Excellent. Oh, just describe for me how it looks like.
It's like a pencil, kind of like a what's the Doctor Who thing? You know, just sonic
like a sonic screwdriver.
Okay. Yeah, it's handheld. It's very innocuous. And when it's used, I think it actually rips a hole in the air, like rips through reality a little bit.
Absolutely. And as you grip the Seam Ripper, you feel very strongly as your hand vibrates that wherever this is, there is a dark, large, lofty place. And you have a brief series of images, and I'm going to flip a card to see exactly what you see. Okay? Sure. All right. Okay, just pick the right window. Okay.
I really thought we'd be doing something else after this, and now...
Relentless Rumor. Its color is green. It strengthens green. It weakens pale magic. Its meanings are endless half-truths, incessant drives, and ruthlessness. There is never a real truth in whispered rumors, searching for authenticity amid the clandestine. Furtive words of a rumor is a fruitless task, and yet still we try, we listen. Despite the lack of complete veracity, though, this rumor is relentless. It cannot die, and a living rumor is one not just told and told again, but believed and believed again. Addiction and relentless drives are part of this. Needs and compulsions are strong motivations, and they never stop pushing. So, okay. She didn't want to hear what he had to say, but she couldn't stop herself from listening. Okay, so what happens is you get a very clear sense of where this is. Your mind travels through this darkened, sprawling facility that seems to kind of, as you realize it, you see there's machinery everywhere. And as there is as you kind of travel along it, it's like traveling through the capillaries of a very large creature. And as you do that, there is seemingly a heart within this large structure. That as you watch, there is somebody standing inside of it, screaming in agony, and it travels past them until you see the face of Ordo Rem. But Ordo is not dressed in some work smock or listening intently, shouting over the words that he can barely hear anymore from all of the reports and explosions from his work. He is wearing a long, very well-tailored black suit with black leather gloves, and there is a look of cool, calm collectedness on his face. And he seems to stare in your general direction as the vision that you gather from the Seam Ripper fades and the object stops vibrating. you know exactly where Ordo is on the sun. And that is where we're going to take our 10-minute break. So we are going to kind of pick up where we left off. But that being said, I think that, Kieran, you are the only person that knows about this. You are, like, what happens as you ascertain this information?
Remind me again the name of my lieutenant in the room with me.
Abron.
Abron. So Kieran kind of comes to from this vision and looks to Abron and says, I know where Ordo Rem is.
And Abron, looking at you, these kind of makeshift plates covering his uniform, he looks at you and says, well, should we tell Naharon?
I don't know. Either way, we're moving out. Kill this one. Have Root do it. I don't care. And the rest of you says, we're moving on Ordo Rem.
Okra stomps on its head.
It is
I was under the impression that all three of you had left the room already.
I was like, I'm probably standing by
I'm
the
still
tent
here.
flap.
Gotcha. So yeah, so Kieran says, yeah, I know where Ordo Rem is.
Yeah, Ogris never left. Ogris is like, but I saved you the best part.
Yeah, but what we're having is a fundamental culture clash.
Ogris just stomps on this thing's head.
Okay.
Question: can I empower that with magic?
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna have to. It does have magical defenses.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Long story short, you see Okris kind of grimace and raise their foot up and drop a big ol' grubby boot down, and there's an explosion of lightning. And I'd like to use my capstone ability. Thank you.
Okay. Describe for everyone this capstone ability.
I don't think it looks like anything.
Well, read it out for everybody.
Oh, I guess.
It's a boot to a face. What do you want from me?
It's a boot to a face. All right. So I am using my capstone ability because I think it might be useful at some point. And the capstone ability of the Forte Herald's ending is one end is another beginning. And that it is when I kill a creature or entity with magic or an ability, should I wish it, they are reborn elsewhere in the actuality with no memory of their previous existence. It is up to the GM's discretion what form this rebirth takes, but no magical effect lower than level 15 may restore the memory of the creature or entity's prior life. Color silver. Nice.
Excellent. So, yeah, you watch this thing as soon as I think all of you witness that as soon as this thing the boot is brought down on it, there is a strange confluence of energy as it basically disapparates and disintegrates out into the air. It is not like anything you've ever seen before. It's a mix of red and unless you want to take it for me, Ogris.
No, I think I like where you're going with that. I think if you're looking at the energies, it's probably it's really a confluence of red, gold, and silver. Mm-hmm. With somebody who's looking real close might see just a scooch of green.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you end this thing and you use your capstone ability to re-imbue its essence into another form, you take one joy.
Aw. Oh yeah.
As you have sincerely not only ushered it to its end, but started its cycle anew. So, all of this being executed, what are all of you doing immediately? I assume, Kieran, what's your decision? Who do you tell?
Everyone's still in the room with me? I mean, I tell the phrase, I know where Ordo Rem is audible by everybody, and he instructs his lieutenant Abron to get ready the troops. We're moving out soon, and is holding council with you all, and he's not running off to do his own thing. Some of you might find that notable, and he is, describing to you that Ordo Rem is in fact very close by, and suggests that, we may or may not need to keep this close to our chest, because I think all of our secrets are, out of the bag anyway. I don't think there's anything we could tell Neheiron and the others that wouldn't, I don't think it matters at this point.
Good, because I hate long strategy meetings. If we know where the bastard is, I just need a target.
This could have been an email.
Mott is the human personification of this could have been an email.
Awesome.
Yeah, that like all I can think is like this crew's motto, or at least 50% of this crew's motto is send it. Like
this could have been a message. This did not need to be a meeting.
I love it. Yeah, and Allegra, what's your response to this news?
I think Allegra, yeah, she basically like a side of her face quirks up in a smile and she goes, "Don't tell the generals? Sounds perfectly all right by me. I'm in."
Okay.
Except then Mott does leave the tent and immediately does tell Shia.
Yeah, I think that, what do you tell Shia as you leave this tent and in this hurry, as in the run up to this operation?
Very briefly, because I trust her to not necessarily waylay us. Like, we know exactly where he is. We're gonna go and take care of him right now, and the less that people know, the better. And then there's a brief pause before he looks like he's about to leave. Like, he's sort of like, "Hey, we're doing this, bye," but then stops himself and says, "I think you need to get in touch with Marjwin. Have him meet us on the road. If this Ordo Rem is a part of the Vespertine and one of them has his brother, like he said, then there's a good chance that he's there, wherever this Ordo Rem is. And either way, it's his enemy. And I know you want to keep this as secret as possible, but the rest of the Caderak, well, they seem to be a little bit like me, in many regards. They just want to get this job done. They want to see it over with. But if these Arabest are important to you, I don't want their weapons pointed at the people that you care about. You need to help me help you in that regard."
And there is something I want to do. We're going to rewind slightly.
Ooh.
This all occurs, this conversation happens. But when you go to look for Shia, there is a moment. I just need to confirm something.
No, I'm scared.
Where there is a conversation that she appears to be having. And as you look through her tent, I think that it's almost kind of like there is a silhouette, her silhouette reflected through light. And you see there is this kind of swirling point of light, not just one, but two.
You wish for us to help you? To assist in this colloquy?
Yes, I very much want your help. I think that it is best protected in your care.
We will do this, if you wish it of us.
This second voice coming in is darker, deeper. Gavriel, in the back of this simulation, you recognize these voices, one of whom you've known has been inside you as long as you've been aware of the actuality. The other one you remember meeting recently.
The Sisters of Law and Order.
Excuse me?
The Sisters of Law and Justice will see to your child. It becomes ours. But as you are allied with the angels, we will do our best to see that your welfare is accounted for as well as this baby's.
And she looks at you. There is a pause in the tent as the shadow, these points of light wait expectantly. Very well. I may call on you for another favor. I sense we are coming close to the end.
We feel this as well.
And the lights peter out and vanish. And that is when you enter the tent to deliver your message. Now, given that another big bomb just dropped, does anything change about this message?
No. I don't think Mott knows how to conceptualize these beings of light, given his nature and where he's from. I think that there's one aspect of denial that Mott is exercising here, and it is the notion that it's going to get to the point where Shia needs to give up her own child. I think Mott does not want this to happen.
Okay.
I think Mott is determined that they could resolve this war now that they know who the real problem is. And that's part of why he thinks that the rest of the Caderak need to know who Maduin is.
Excellent. Okay. You say this, and I'm not even going to make you roll. I'm going to give you a GM shift. Whether or not this is joy or despair is up to you.
Man, that's so hard to say. I'm making an unusual choice, and I'm going to say joy.
Okay.
Because fundamentally what matters here is that we're one step closer to protecting Shia.
Excellent. Okay. So that is your preparation. What is everybody else doing in preparation for the operation?
Kieran is raiding the makers, the quartermastery, going through the shelves and shoving things in his in his bag. Maybe I can steal an object of power or something.
Okay. Why don't you make me an intellect roll, and I'll tell you what you can grab.
All right. Ooh, that's 7 all day.
Okay, on a 7, I think because it breaks a 5, I'm going to get you a level 7 or a below object of power.
Cool.
I'm just going to randomly sort through this file. I'm scrolling, and a red vizard, a gold and red mask that covers the wearer's upper face. The wearer can see magical auras, allowing them to recognize objects of power, vislay, active spells, and so on. Its object depletion is 0 to 1. Check each use, but never more than once per day. Its color is indigo.
Excellent.
Yeah, and you get a sense that there are a number of unfinished items, and with that intellect, you sense that, like, a lot of these it's a little unusual because they seem to be half finished but moldering. Some of the things discarded as if a pace was changed in their work. Perhaps it was when the asset came into the tent.
Do these things seem like they would be useful to keep, or they are basically junk at this point?
I will say with a level 7 that intellect roll, I'll say you get a level 4 power source as well.
Excellent. In the bag.
In the bag. Cool. Who else has preparations? Any other scenes they want to do?
Are we taking people with us?
Your poll.
Kieran suggested in our short meeting that could have been an email that we take the troops that are under our command.
No.
Okay. It's just you?
Okris is going to show up alone.
Okay.
Unless one of their lieutenants actually go out of their way to tag along. They don't invite anybody.
I'm going to pull a card. This is the card I should have pulled before. Angel, defender of notions, cats, clocks, and wind. Meanings: judgment, safety, assistance, light, and justice.
I'm sorry, it's actually 4 notions, cats, clocks, and wind?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
How does this happen?
What?
So here's the thing, is that's +2 to all of your actions while it is in play. No greater representation of goodness, light, or justice exists than the winged form of an angel from on high, left behind as part of the legacy they attempt to aid, to teach, and to protect. However, some angels also pass judgment. Their vengeance can be terrible to behold, their anger something no mortal ever wishes to experience. Thus, the angel represents both the open palm of altruism and the terrible fist of retribution. The angel is the defender of notions. Its light ensures that they are kept safe.
This is too specific to be a cold read. I'm officially lightly freaked out by Monty Cook right now. That's way too specific.
I didn't know that was a card that was the defender of the character that I made. It was apropos of nothing.
The eyes on her outstretched wings saw far more than a mortal's eyes ever could, gazing into secret realms and guarded hearts. One should take this opportunity to look for an ally, at least shelter. Someone or something out there can help the person in question. The angel brings justice as it passes judgment. As long as one is not found wanting, this card turn suggests that external forces bring assistance or succor. I'm going to say that the woman that you saved, Ethereal, is going to join you on this sortie.
Well, when you pulled that, I was like, well, yeah, obviously.
Ethereal Baub, the weaver that you saved, who masters the aggregate of freedom, is coming with you.
I just love that this one card pull addressed something both thematically, like broadly, and also a very specific detail, which like brings them into the operation. That's great.
Yeah, it's every time. I just absolutely lovely.
Me and the Matrix. Is that what's going on here?
I love the card pulls. It's absolutely one of my favorite things about this game.
I'm mildly terrified by this game.
Yeah, and I think that with Ethereal joining you, can you describe, what Ethereal sounds like when she speaks to you, Okris?
I think Ethereal speaks incredibly firmly, but incredibly softly. I think one of the reasons why we get along is that when she does speak, it's she's never the person that has a meeting when you can have an email. Like it's everything is extremely precise. Everything it is said in the most exacting way possible, but in a way that is, I don't know, weirdly friendly.
Yeah, and I think that's the tone that she delivers is just, yes, we will do this thing because you have asked me of me. And we will succeed.
I don't think I asked anything of you, but sure.
We're the last gasp, but we are the first to stand. It's time for us to leave.
Well, shit.
Yeah, she is
fair enough.
She has bought the mission statement hardcore.
I don't think this is my outfit anymore.
Okay, Allegra, what preparations do you make?
I think Allegra will mostly gather materials from Vastra's lab of practical magics on the Vancian campus. A variety of sort of metal components, which could be useful in maybe some stuff that Kieran could put together. I think generally some vials and beakers and just stuff that could become useful if she needs to do anything science-y while this operation happens. She wants to have kind of her almost like version of a first aid kit, but for science on her. And so she's just gonna gather all the stuff and materials she needs from the Vancian campus while she has the chance.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a intellect roll as you do this.
Perfect.
And I will tell you if anything else happens.
That is a 5 on the die.
Okay. So for a 5, you're going to get an ephemera. Let me go ahead and pull this up. The ephemera you pick is level 5 or below. Armoring Shell. fist-sized animal shell. Tiny slug-like things rapidly crawl out of the shell and cover your body, providing 2 points of armor. Its depletion is 0 to 1. Check after each combat encounter. Its color is invisible. So take that into account. As you are rooting through these kind of practical materials, somebody sees you, makes eye contact with you as you are rooting through. Their countenance is very familiar to you. They are a fellow magister at this point. They have a shorn blonde, bald head, a very lean physique, and you recognize this as Magister Yadavastra.
Yadavastra, I didn't see you there.
Greetings, Magister.
And to you.
Is there something I can help with?
Oh, no, just gathering some components. You know how it is. As part of the Caderak that Zaleska's asked me to be a part of, we're sent off to various parts of the battlefield, and, well, one can never be too prepared, right?
You may make me an interaction roll if you would like to try to
fine.
successfully lie to Yadavastra.
Yes, 100% will do. Okay, I will pump an interaction bene into this as well. And that's a 6 on the die, 7.
Okay. They walk up to you, and as you are gathering items, they read you, kind of studying you very hard, and they walk to the right to a place that you weren't looking, and they pick up the armoring shell out of the shelf. And they look at you and they say, "You're going to need this." You pulled the angel card. So the angel looks out for you.
I think Allegra accepts this graciously, but she's kind of confused. Thank you. I didn't expect any help.
You know, we're not doing so well. But we're Vance. We understand efficiency. We understand the importance of our mission. We have to take care of each other.
I suppose that's the power of a large organization, huh?
How else am I going to hear...
Something like a community.
Well, how else am I going to hear your next lecture?
I'll try to stay alive. I promise you it'll be a good one.
You do that. I look forward to it. And we'll cut there. You are 3 miles away from this facility. I imagine we're all kind of rejoining each and every one of you on the road to the sortie. You are flanked by pathwalkers. Well, that's the question, Everett. Did you bring the other pathwalkers with you?
Nope.
Okay. You are flanked by support makers. Ethereal Baub is walking alongside Okris. Root, I think you left him behind. Allegra, did you recruit any Vances to join with you?
I think she'll probably have brought Arwen. She's kind of taken a liking to Arwen, and just because Ardeno was a little flustered after, her kind of last encounter with him, I think she's gonna maybe try to take Arwen under her wing a little bit as well.
Okay.
No pun intended with the Raven thing.
I need to pull another card. As much as I want you guys to have that defender, I need to find out something.
Oh my god.
Fuck, have we hit our capstone yet? Or not capstone, the words. Words are hard.
Not
Words are hard.
The Testament is the next card.
That's what.
Whispering Lover. Love, romance, partnership, loved ones, relationships. Love represents the strongest bonds. Romance, family, and deep friendship. The intimacy inherent in the whispers of a lover is rare and valuable. We seek love, and once we have it, we fight to keep it. The Whispering Lover represents these people in our lives that are most important to us. It doesn't have to suggest romance. There are many kinds of positive relationships one can have in their life. The Whispering Lover always suggests a bond in place or one that will form very soon. but it can be +1 or -1 depending on the other cards played. This might suggest that the relationship in question remains strong, ends, faces a challenge, and so on. This card turn essentially just brings the relationship into play. Moments with those we love are fleeting and yet carry the most power. Someone the PC loves is in danger. As you talk to Arwen and you recruit her for this mission, she seems distraught.
Arwen, is something wrong?
Ardeno hasn't reported to duty.
When was the last time you saw him?
He was hoping to speak to a counselor in the sickbay. I don't know where he is. I need to. I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I need to know where he is, Magister.
I understand. I need to know where he is as well. And
Is Kieran in hearing distance of this conversation? Is this on the road?
I imagine, yeah, this is, yeah, as you're beginning preparations, making way out. This would be, I would say, Arwen probably joins late.
Sure. Then.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, wait, what do you do? What was that?
Sorry, then I'm not here, am I understanding
No,
correctly?
you are. I think that's
So
fair.
Kieran will say, I have a sneaking suspicion that if you're missing someone, we might find clues to their disappearance at our destination.
I think Allegra looks at you immediately and kind of makes eye contact quickly and says, you don't think this could have something to do with that nightmare nurse, do you?
And Kieran says everything that he knows so far about the calculus, about the numbers not adding up.
Then,
What's up, Lowl?
Arwen, if we want to find Ardeno, it seems like you coming with us is the best way for that to happen. I know it's hard, but I need you to be strong now. Can you do that?
And I am going to pull a card. This one's going to end up on the Testament. Raven, the companion of Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame. Jealousy, sight, trickery. Companion to the Secrets family, the Raven sees everything and tells nothing. The Raven is smarter and wiser than it ever lets on. Its intelligence, however, manifests in its crafty solutions to problems. Some might use the word cheating, in fact. The Raven's weakness is greed and jealousy. It wants what you have, and that probably means your secrets. Can you keep them from its watchful eyes? Is it even worth trying? An NPC turns out to be an NPC notices something or sees a solution to a problem. And I think there is a moment where Arwen is thinking, and I think at that point Ethereal steps and puts an arm around her and says, don't worry. Nothing, no chains will hold in my presence. And Arwen straightens. The Raven is now on the Testament just for our apostates. Okay. Any other preparations as you guys are moving into this next mission?
No, I think the only thing is that I drawing the Raven card, I think just prompts that Sophanox squawks on Allegra's shoulder.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I think that Sophanox alights on Arwen's shoulder and just begins kind of nuzzling and grooming her a little bit. Apparently picking out the knits in her hair and all that kind of stuff.
You've got some ticks there.
Sophanox will find them.
Excellent. So, without further ado, you begin the walk. This 3-mile walk that might as well be a death march for all of you as you, with trepidation, approach your objective. It is about a mile into this when you see Mott. Something catches your attention. the sound bird-like and chittering. And Sophanox, as you kind of round this corner, Sophanox almost immediately kind of cocks its head almost in recognition of some sort of kindred creature. And as you look down the alley, there are a number of kind of detritus debris. There's barrels providing some kind of measure of cover over ruined and graffitied walls. And off in the dead end of the alley, you see a what seems to be a door that is opened out of the wall.
Mott immediately steps out in front of everyone and just says, "Nobody make any sudden movements. No weapons out, no nothing."
And all of you see a golden claw reach around one of the detritus, the barrels. All of the makers and all of the other kind of lieutenants and people assisting you, they all kind of ready and kind of brace themselves as they recognize they've been in enough combat to recognize the hand of an enemy. But as soon as their guard is up, the head kind of pokes out, and instead of seeing this kind of menacing oblong dark helmet covering a beaked face, it's the countenance of a very large bird with golden eyes looking intently at all of you and cocking its head at Mott. And as you see the emotion reflected on Mott, it is one of curiosity and a little bit of trepidation.
Yeah, Mott turns to face the rest of the Caderak. All right, so some introductions are necessary here. This is Margarine.
Margarine!
That's right. He's gonna help us on this mission. It's complicated. Some of you are trying to see him as an enemy. He's not. Where we're walking today, that is the real enemy of this war. For some of you, that's all you need to know. For others, and he looks directly at Kieran, Allegra, and Okris, it's even more complicated than you could probably imagine. But first things first, Margarine, I keep inserting other characters' names into my character, which I think is just me almost becoming the mask in a little bit.
You need help. You're going to disappear.
I'm going to disappear. Mott turns to Margarine, and there's that eerie, like, curiosity and trepidation just looks completely out of place with what happens here, where Mott just raises an arm and, using just sort of like the back of his wrist and up to his elbow, completely side checks Margarine into a wall. Oh. And like has him pinned to it, and quietly, but I think with enough force that you guys can still hear him, says, "I need you to know that I know everything. And I have one question for you before we continue." I think that Mott, at this point, through the months, has picked up some level of communication through the signing. So if he signed, he would understand it. I'm happy to roll for that if you want me to know how well I can understand it.
Yeah. But first, yeah.
And Mott just goes, "Do you love her?"
Magdalene's hands come up. You first think to remove your arm, and instead they touch your temples. All of you are very aware of what happens when one of these things touches you. They either give you incredibly powerful agony or ecstasy. basically to the point where it does mental or physical damage to you. And my question is, Mott, do you resist this?
No.
What the hell is he doing?
Time stands still. Mott, you are not in the middle of a grimy alley someplace. I want you to describe for me what you think the most comforting place that you could possibly be is, and I want you to describe for me someone you feel you might recognize from your prior life who brought you succor or comfort.
Oh my god. That's such an interesting thing, because I don't think Mott consciously remembers anything about his life before he came to the accidental space. I think there's this vague notion of being in this very simple parlor room that I think towards Grey standards would look very 19th century. And there's a young woman and a young man that are both there in their teens. Mott feels related to them, but it doesn't make any sense.
And there is an elder man that you hear a voice from behind you say, "We are not. Of course I love her." And as you turn, there is just a man, vaguely familiar to Mott, who has this almost kind of a beatific, benign, benevolent kind of quality to them. There is a feeling of comfort radiating off of them. Our people are gifted. As the god, the many-faceted one, dreamed, his dreams became a reality. Something I think that might pass for illusions to some of you. But we found them comforting. And with some practice, we are able to marshal them to speak. I did not mean to surprise you, but I didn't think my natural language would provide you any comfort.
Good. That's good. You can see him trying to shake some of the illusion away. Whether or not he's successful is probably not, but
you can make me a resist roll if you like.
I will. I don't know if it's going to go very well.
Your challenge is 6.
5.
Okay. I think that you can kind of see the translucency of this.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But Mott is still himself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Actually, well, my question is, as you kind of pass in this parlor, are there any reflective glasses?
Let's say there is.
What does Mott look like? The real Mott.
You see a relatively tall young man. Can't be any older than in his possible early 30s at most. Dark red hair and very, very dark yet piercing black eyes.
And as you look back at that, and then you look back at the elder figure, there is a unmistakable recognition or similarity in the features. I searched. There wasn't much that was left in your subconscious something to offer comfort. This is what I found. I don't know who this is, and I'm sorry.
I don't know who they are either, so that makes two of us, doesn't it?
And you
But
see,
that doesn't matter.
see the young man and the woman are having a delighted conversation, almost teasing one another. But it's all background noise. It might as well just be dead air.
I'm choosing to believe you. But I need you to know. This world is complicated and noisy. Never-ending shifting facades of emotions and faces and intents that even I can't pass out, and sometimes I wish it would just be quiet so I could think. But I love it. I love this world, and I love everything under each of the suns, I think, because I have been in the dark for such a long, long time. And I am only saying this so that you understand that if you are lying to me, I would burn the sun and every other one of them to ashes if you hurt her.
As you make this threat, a flaming butterfly from the accidental space alights on this figure's shoulder. And it just kind of carefully brushes it off and looks at you and says, I loved my world, and it has fallen. I do not want that for you. But she is my world now. Well, I will not see her harmed.
In this illusion, Mott takes a step back and surprisingly holds out his hand. Then we are allies. And I will do everything in my power to keep you and her and your child safe.
And the hand clasps, the illusion falling, and you are no longer bracing this figure against a wall. Instead, you are having this clasp moment of understanding as you look into this creature's golden eyes. For the rest of you, this was a span of 2-3 seconds. Kieran, as soon as you have your outburst, your that moment of conflict is melted away and it is over. And the rest of the mission looms before you. Operation Lowl has begun. And we're going to end the episode there. So, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what it is. Everything's intense now.
Oh, wow.
So how's everybody doing? Let's find out in character recaps. Marcy or Everett, should I come to Everett later or now?
No, I'm good. I'm solid. In a very strange way, a lot of anxiety has lifted off of Everett's shoulders from that conversation. Yeah, I honestly think that's a joy. I don't think that he really fully trusted the Arabast, and he especially didn't really know what to make of Madryn, but that definitely proved it a little bit.
Awesome. Kieran, joy, despair, acumen. Oh, and I will say take 2 acumen for that scene and for your successful interrogation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Kieran, you're up.
I'm going to continue viewing this through Maurice. And I think Maurice will take a joy, if only because he is seeing Kieran begin to work together with the other people in this simulation. I think, if nothing else, Maurice has felt a little bit lonely, like, oh, my other good friends are like having their own adventures over here. So the fact that he has something to compare his notes to is at the very least what he's taking joy from, and that, you know, they're finally working together.
Excellent. And take two acumen for a very masterful a way of gathering information. Fantastic work there. Okris. Joy, despair.
Doesn't matter who you're talking to, it's despair all the way down, baby. This sucks a lot. Yeah, no, for Okris, this whole wasting sickness is new and unexciting, and distressing. And for Twigg, this is hell. This is literal hell.
Yeah, and take two acumen, I think, for finishing off the Terrace, or Tear as it's called, and giving it a new start in the actuality, and bringing Ethereal with you.
All right.
Cool.
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Now, what makes you think that could possibly happen?
I literally just wrote +2 acumen for caring, and I don't know why I wrote that.
And finally, Allegra, joy or despair?
This is a very interesting question, and I think I will, like Bill, continue to read this through Kyrrie. And I think what we have is a situation that would have been a joy, except Kyrrie knows what her sister is like in the present. And so it's very bittersweet seeing her have a moment where she kind of understands a little bit more, or seems to, about community and being a part of something bigger. And yet she knows that in the present, Allegra is very divorced from the Vans, is completely off on her own thing with the court of Noahs. And so I think it's a despair for Kyrrie, because she kind of knows where this train is going, and that even though this was a positive moment for Allegra, at some point in the future, whether she sees it or not, it's going to get derailed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and take two acumen as well for finding out A, about Ordeno, and B, for ascertaining the nature of the Terrace secret. So guys, this has been a really intense one. So we're just going to do plugs and shout outs, and we're going to call it a night pretty soon, a few minutes early, just because I think everybody needs a little bit of extra time to recover. Marcy, any shout outs or plugs this week?
Just the usual. If you're liking this show, Manapod Studios has a host of other shows. There's happy hours on Wednesdays. There's a lot of my brain just sort of short-circuited for Pathfinder games. Is where I was going for. More specifically, a lot of Starfinder games. And I'm also on, normally on Tuesdays, but for this month, we're on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We do Flights of Fandom, which is fun. If you want to come see currently what we're doing a Dishonored flight, and Zach is our wonderful DM on that show as well. We're into our finale, not this week, but the following week on the 10th at 3 p.m. So if you want to see how it all goes down, come join us there. All the VODs are up on the channel as well if you want to catch up. And we have a lot of other exciting shows and flights that are coming up throughout the spring and the summer, so stay tuned.
Excellent. Bill, any shout outs or plugs this week?
I'd like to shout out my cast this week. I love being on stream with you. I love feeling like the dumbest person in the room. And special shout out to Zach, who's just taken us all on a fucking ride.
Thank you. And what was it? If anybody's the dumbest person in the room, it's definitely me. What was it? I have no idea what you're gonna do. So
no one is dumb here. No one is.
I'm right here, guys.
You're what was it, Hopper? Shout outs to plugs this week.
Yeah, check out Party of One Pod with the I'm trying to think of a good adjective, and right now all I'm getting is mean things, which is inaccurate. Chris has invaded my brain. Check out Jeff Stormer, who does a couple really amazing podcasts. Party of One is one of those. Good friend of the channel, and you should check him out.
Excellent. Marissa, any shout outs or plugs this week?
No, just on the topic of VODs, if you are just joining us for the War Report and haven't seen our sort of the beginnings of the Hole in the World arc, all of that is up on YouTube, and you can see our kind of usual PCs who are experiencing the War Report through these characters' eyes, and who will be returning at the conclusion of the War Report. So if you haven't checked them out, please do. It's a lot of backlog. It will keep you busy for a while, but it is very good bingeable material, I assure you. And then just
sorry to piggyback on that. Hearthward Bound, all 4 episodes are on YouTube as of 2 days ago.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Also Hearthward Bound, which is amazing, and Bill GM'd. We were all adorable, rascally animals who got separated from our druids.
Lots of murder.
Actually, as I've been telling these guys, every time we pull the Lost Star card, the art on that card, it's probably too small for you to see on the overlay, but it's like a cat who's playing with stars, like a silver cat with green eyes, and it's just the Alethea card from now on. So
absolutely. I will gladly say that as well. I will tell you this. I am so grateful that I get to play these games with these wonderful people. Bill, you did a fantastic job GMing on Hearthward Bound, and everybody should watch that. And at the very least, check it out. We're all, with the exception of this episode, we are all caught up on Hole in the World episodes, so you can watch the very last episode of the Hole in World War Report if you like, and see the start of Operation Lowl, as well as the other operations. So for my own shout outs and plugs, I have got a bunch actually, so I'm going to try to get through those in short order. One, thank you to Other Doc again for your raid, Fesnerax for sending us bits, and for Ancient Albatross. I think that's Al.
These are my favorite usernames to date.
Yeah. Party Wipe Games, Talking Robble, Tucson's, and Mid Armor, as well as Ildelara and Commander Root. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm assuming Lurks is not an actual user, but is somebody just lurking in the background. But if you are, hey, thank you. But the other thing I was going to say is, one, Monty Cook Games has a Kickstarter going on for a really super cool supplement for GMs called The Darkest House, which is a really cool kind of interdimensional haunted house that is GM facing and digital, and can help create a really amazing digital experience. I got a chance to demo that with Bruce Cordell and Anthony from Cypher Unlimited. That was a super fun game. There was a lot of really mounting of tension. I cannot wait to use it against these people that I love very sincerely, but who I want.
Yeah, don't.
Oh no.
In fact, click the. How do you stop a Kickstarter once it's already gotten started?
Have mercy on us.
And
I don't know how you do that, but do that. Don't listen to Zach.
So check that out. I also am getting my Cypher Unlimited t-shirt in the mail, so I can't wait to wear that on stream. Check out Cypher Unlimited. They're great. Some other friends of the channel include Angel Citadel, who has their own Cypher system called setting called Hope's Horizon out. And then you have finally Encounter Party, who might be playing right now. And who I will encourage you guys, if they are, to stick around for the raid. Otherwise, stick around anyway, because it's a good time and everybody's playing games and it's a rainy Sunday. What else are you going to do? So, guys, thank you so much. This has been a really gratifying arc for, I hope, not just me, but for all of us on the cast. And as always, do your best to, take care of yourself in this kind of trying time. Take care of the people that you love and the people around you. Be well, and most importantly, I hope that the invisible sun shines on you all. So, see you guys. Stick around for the raid. We'll see you in 2 weeks.